subscribe and click the bell icon to turn on notifications.
Hi guys! In this video tutorial we're going to explore the top 10 steps that will help you get started chatting, posting, sharing and collaborating in Microsoft Teams. So the first thing we're going to need to do is create a team. So let's jump down to the Join or Create Team link and then we're going to select Create Team. So we get a choice of creating our team from scratch or creating from an existing group or team. So I'm going to set up mine from scratch and I then need to select what kind of team this is going to be. So if I choose to create a private team, it means that people need permission to join it. I can create a public team, which means anyone in my organization can join, or an org-wide team means that everybody in my organization will automatically join. So let's create a public team. I now need to give my team a name and a description. And click on Create. So Microsoft Teams will go away and create that team, and once it's been created, you'll see it listed in your Teams list on the left-hand side. So the next step here would be to add members to the team. Now you can add it at this stage, or alternatively you can skip over this step and add team members later on. So let's add Ben to this team and click on Add. And also from here I can decide what kind of access I want to give Ben. And I'm going to leave Ben as a member of this team. Let's click on Close. So now I can see my team listed here at the bottom. And as I said, if you want to add members after the fact, if you click the 3 dots next to the team name to jump into more options, you have an Add Member menu item just here. So let's add Adam. And at this stage, I can also add external guests, so people who are not part of my organization. And to add them, I need to make sure that I type in their email address. And you'll see that they'll have guest in brackets. Now I will say that in order for you to be able to add guests to a team, you need to make sure you have the relevant setting toggled on in the Team Center in the admin section of Microsoft 365. Once you've toggled that setting on, you should then be able to add guests to your team. So we've created our team, we've added some team members. The next thing I'm going to want to do is create some team channels. Now, team channels allow you to focus conversations to specific topics. And what you'll notice is that when you create a team from scratch, Teams will automatically create a general channel for you. So this might be used for just general chat about product development, but I might also want some other targeted channels. So once again, I'm going to click my 3 dots to jump into more options and select Add Channel. Let's type in a channel name and a description. You then need to determine your privacy settings. So currently this channel is just set to standard, which means it's accessible to all members of the team. Alternatively, I could change this to private and only make it accessible to a specific group of people within this team. Now for this channel, I'm going to keep it on standard. And if I want this channel to automatically appear in everybody's lists, I can select this little checkbox at the bottom and select Add. Microsoft Teams will go away, add that channel, and you can now see it listed underneath the product development team. Let's add one more channel, but this time we're going to make it a private channel. So let's select Private and click on Next. Teams will go away and add the channel, but the difference here is it's going to ask me who I want to add to this channel. So I'm just going to add Ben and Adam, click on Done. And you'll notice that when this channel gets added, it has a padlock next to it, which just lets people know that this is a private channel. And if you want to manage any of your settings related to teams or channels, once again, if you click the 3 dots to jump into more options, you have a Manage Team option just here with different tabs running across the top to let you customize the settings for members and channels. Now, obviously, a big part of Teams is being able to collaborate effectively with the other team members. That might be having conversations, making calls, sharing files, or even adding things like apps to create team to-do lists. And when you're clicked on a channel, if you look across the top, you can see that currently I'm clicked on Posts, but I also have a Files tab up here. So any files that have been exchanged within the team channel will live in here. I have a place where I can start to add some wiki entries, and then I have a plus. So this is where you can customize the tabs that run across the top of each of your channels. So let's click Add a Tab, and you can see that I get lots of different apps and files that I can add as tabs. Now, I actually want to create a team to-do list to manage and track progress on different tasks. So for that, I'm going to add the Planner app. I can modify the tab name, but I'm pretty happy with it saying tasks. And I'm going to click Save. And what you'll see is that I now have a tab added at the top. So now I can jump into here, I can start adding tasks and tracking progress. Now, another thing related to the management of channels, if you find that over time you have quite a lot of channels underneath your team, maybe you only use a couple of them, maybe 3 of them, and you want to be able to access them a little bit quicker. Well, what you can do to make your life a little bit easier is pin your frequently used channels. So for example, if I'm always working in design ideas, I can click the 3 dots and select Pin. And if you now cast your eyes to the top of the screen to the pinned group, that channel is sitting at the top, making it super easy for me to access. Now, another big part of Teams is the ability to chat with others in your channel or privately. And you can do things like format your posts, add emojis, GIFs or stickers to inject some interest and fun into conversations. So make sure that you're clicked on a team channel, and to start a conversation, just click the New Conversation button at the bottom. I could type my message, and to add a little bit of interest, I could add an emoji. And I also have a selection of GIFs and stickers. And that's going to send that message out to the team channel and all of the team members. Now, if I wanted to create a slightly more sophisticated message, I could jump into Format, which is going to open my formatting toolbar. So if I want to, I can select different words, make them bold, italic, underline. I can also do things like highlight, change the font color, font size, and set paragraph and alignment options. I even have some options on the end here to do things like add tables into my posts. And when someone replies to you in the team channel, you'll see that I'm getting a notification in the bottom right-hand corner that Adam has replied. And if I hover over Adam's message, you can see that I get some reaction icons. So if I want to let Adam know that I like his post, I could give it a little heart or maybe a thumbs up. And of course, as you would expect, if I reply to Adam, I can click on the paperclip icon to attach any files. And I can upload them from my computer, or if I have OneDrive set up, I can select directly from cloud storage. Now, as soon as I send a file through in this way, if I jump up to my tabs at the top and click on Files, you'll see that that file is going to be listed in here. So this Files area will pick up any documents, spreadsheets, presentations that you share within the team channel and output them to here to make them super easy for you to find. Now, these types of messages aren't the only types of messages that you can send in Teams. If we click New Conversation again, and I'm going to jump straight into Format to open that up, we can select a post type. And you'll see the other post type that we can send through is an announcement. So this would be for something that's of particular importance. You can add a headline, a subheading, and then type your announcement. And what you can also do in here, if you want to target specific people with this announcement, is you can @mention them by typing in the @ symbol and then their name. And I'm just going to @mention both Ben and Adam. And if this is a particularly important message that doesn't just relate to this particular channel, I can choose to post in multiple channels. You can see currently it's only going to the general channel in product development, but I could say select channels and then assign that to different channels. And click update. So far we've been focusing on starting conversations in team channels, but you can also start private conversations with other people. So if we go to our left-hand menu and click on Chat, this is where you would come to chat with other people privately. Click on the icon at the top to start a new chat, or press the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+N. Type in the name or the email address, if they're external, of the person that you want to have a private chat with. Now, when it comes to uploading and sharing files with your team, we've seen that we can attach a file and send it through to our team channel, and then it will appear in the Files tab at the top. But we also have a Files area over in the left-hand menu. So once again, if we click on there, you'll be able to see any files that you've shared within your team. And from here, you have some options to upload files and folders, maybe ones that you have stored off locally, or you can create brand new documents, Excel workbooks, presentations, notebooks, etc. directly from within here, harnessing the power of those online tools in Microsoft 365. Now, when it comes to searching and finding things in Teams, you can use the search bar or the command bar at the top to search for files, messages, people, and more. So if I want to search for, let's say, a document, I can type in all or part of the name, and you can see it's pulling back those results. If I want to search for a person, I can type in their name, and again, I'm going to get those results. Now, something else that's cool up here is that you can utilize this search bar as a command bar as well. And Teams has lots of different inbuilt commands that you can use. They're kind of like shortcuts. So if you type in a /, you'll see that what you get is a drop-down menu of different shortcuts that will perform different tasks. So for example, my status in Teams is currently set to available. Now maybe I'm about to run off to a meeting, so I want to set my status to away. All I need to do is select /away or type it in and press enter to set my status. I could also do things like type in /, and if I want to chat with a specific person, I could type in chat, press my space bar. It then moves across and allows me to select who I want to chat with, and I can then type a message. Hit enter, and it sends that message through to Ben. So it's a really quick way of being able to execute common tasks. What you can also do in this command bar is enter the @ symbol, and again, you're going to get some useful things that you can do. So for example, if I select @YouTube, it's going to allow me to directly search YouTube from within Teams. So if I type in Microsoft Teams, it's going to go away and pull back all of the videos that it finds related to Microsoft Teams. I could then click on one to select and play that video. Similarly, if I type in again and select something like the weather, I can type in a city, and it's going to allow me to check the weather in a specific location. So that command bar is really useful in order to execute tasks quickly. Now, one of the things that Teams is used for most predominantly is audio and video calls or meetings. And you can start meetings with your team or privately. And meetings kind of fall into two brackets. You can start a meeting on the fly using the Meet Now functionality, or you can schedule a meeting ahead of time. So I'm currently clicked in the General Team channel. I'm having a conversation with both Adam and Ben, and maybe I determine that this would better be discussed on a call. So all I need to do to jump into a video or audio call is go up to the top right-hand corner of the screen where it says Meet and select Meet Now. It gives my meeting a name, and this is normally based on the team channel that you're currently clicked in. And then I get a choice as to if I want to turn on my video or just keep this as an audio call. So I'm going to select Join Now. And because I've started this from within a team channel, all of the members of that channel are going to receive a notification that I've started a meeting, and they're going to get the option to join that meeting. So let's wait for a couple of seconds for Adam to join us. And there he is. So now I can see that both myself and Adam are in this meeting. And I'm currently viewing all of the people in this meeting in the participants pane. Now what you'll see just above is a toolbar that has lots of different icons on it, and these are your in-meeting options. So currently I'm showing the participants pane, and I can do things from here like unmute or mute people's microphones, and I can click on the three dots to see more options related to this particular participant. If I want to have conversations within this meeting, I can click on the Show Conversation icon, which opens up a chat panel, and I can utilize this much the same as I would in any conversation in Teams. Let's open the participants panel up again, because this feature is quite a nice little feature, and that is the raise your hand icon. And this is what we call non-verbal communication. So if I'm presenting a meeting, particularly if there's a lot of participants in this meeting, if somebody wants to ask me a question, it interrupts the flow if they suddenly unmute their mic and start talking. So in order to get my attention without interrupting proceedings, they could utilize this icon. And what I'm going to do is ask Adam to raise his hand, as he has done just there. So I now know that Adam might want to ask me a question or provide some input. I can unmute his mic individually and then mute him again when he's finished. And if you want to lower the hand once you've dealt with the query, again just click on the three dots and select lower hand. What we also have in this toolbar is the More Actions area. So this is where you would come to check your device settings, maybe to set some meeting options, and also do things like apply background effects to disguise your background if you're working from home, maybe turn on live captions if you have anybody in your team who is hard of hearing, or you can also start recording your meeting from here as well. So lots of useful options in there. And of course, at any point during this meeting, I can choose to switch to a video call by turning my camera on, or I can mute or unmute myself. Now, the final icon on here is sharing content, and we're actually going to come back to this in a later section. For the time being, we're going to say that this call is over, so I'm going to click the drop down and select End Meeting. And I'm going to end this meeting for all participants. What you'll then see is that in the team channel where you started this meeting, it's going to ask you about the call quality. So I'm going to say, yep, it was great. And if I'd recorded that meeting, after a couple of minutes, the meeting recording will also appear in the team channel. So that is your Meet Now button, great for ad hoc on-the-fly meetings. The other option you have up here is to schedule a meeting ahead of time. And this will open up a calendar invite. I'm going to add my required attendees. I'm going to schedule a day and a time for this meeting. I can add a location and a description if I want to, and then click on Send to send that out to all participants. Now what you'll see is that in the team channel, it's going to show this meeting sitting there. I can click on it and I can click to join when it's time to start that meeting. You'll also see that if you jump across to the calendar on the left-hand side, it's going to show that meeting sitting there. And once again, you can click and join the meeting from here. Now, whilst we're on the subject of the calendar, let's talk about live events, because this is another kind of meeting essentially. And they enable you to schedule and produce events that stream to large audiences online. And you create a live event from the calendar. If we jump up to the New Meeting button in the top right hand corner and click the drop down, I can select to schedule a live event. I need to give it a title, set a location, a start date and time, and also an end date and time, and then I can add in any details about this event. If I click Next, I can then choose who has permissions to this live event. So I can choose to set this to only the specified people and groups can watch the live event, or everyone in the organization can watch. So I'm going to leave mine on org-wide and click on Schedule. So this is going to add this to the calendar, and it's also going to allow me to get an attendee link. So if I have maybe 100 or 200 people wanting to join this live event, what I can do is just say get attendee link, which is now copied to the clipboard. I could then paste it into an Outlook email and send it out to a distribution list. And you can see there the live event scheduled in my calendar. Now, earlier on, I briefly mentioned background effects in Teams. So if you're joining a meeting from home, or maybe you forgot to tidy up, then virtual backgrounds are going to be a lifesaver. So let's jump back into a meeting. I'm going to click Meet Now. I'm going to join, and I'm going to wait for Adam to join, and there he is. Now, if you're working from home, you might not necessarily want everybody to see what you have going on in the background. So if you click the three dots up here, you can choose to apply a background effect. And you have lots of different ones you can choose from this gallery of inbuilt templates. Alternatively, if you'd rather just blur out your background, you have the blur option at the top here. You could also upload your own photos. So if you have a nice landscape or maybe a picture of your kids, you can add that in here and set that as your background as well. Now, the final thing that we didn't go through last time when looking at these in-meeting options was the Share Content button. So this button allows you to share your desktop, a specific application, a PowerPoint presentation, or a whiteboard with all meeting participants to brainstorm ideas and get their input and feedback. So let's click Share Content. And what you'll see is it opens a pane at the bottom, and I can choose if I want to share my desktop, a specific window that I currently have open, a PowerPoint presentation, or something like a whiteboard. Now, if I was to share my desktop, that means that everybody in this meeting is going to see everything that's happening on my desktop. Now, you might be completely fine with that, and I would say if you plan to switch around or jump between applications, then sharing your desktop is going to be the best option. Just be aware that if you have any email notifications or desktop alerts coming in, everybody in the meeting is going to see those as well. If you want to be a little bit more private and maybe you only have a specific spreadsheet or a specific Word document that you want to share with all the participants, you can choose to select a window instead. Now, you need to be aware that you need to have the window open in order to share it. So this is currently showing all of the documents, and there's quite a lot of them, that I have open on my desktop. So if I specifically only want to share maybe this spreadsheet, I would select it. And that's the only thing that people are going to see, regardless of what else is going on in my desktop and what notification pop-ups I'm getting. Now, when I'm in share mode, if I push my mouse to the top of the screen, you can see that I have just a couple of options in here. I can choose to pass control across to somebody else. So if I want Ben to maybe jump into this spreadsheet and demonstrate to me exactly what he means, I can pass control of the keyboard and mouse across to him. And of course, the other option that I have up here is to stop presenting, which is going to jump me out of share mode. Now let's just go back into Share Content one more time, because we have a couple of other options in here. Now, where it says PowerPoint, we have a Browse button next to here. So what this essentially allows us to do is upload PowerPoint presentations ahead of time. You might be thinking to yourself, well, why on earth would I want to do that? What seems to be a far simpler option is just to open the PowerPoint presentation, as I've got down here, and share it with all meeting participants. Now, that's absolutely fine if your PowerPoint presentation is reasonably short, but if you have quite a long presentation that maybe contains things like images or particularly streaming video, you might find that if you share it in this way via the window, that when you're running through that presentation and playing those videos, participants are going to experience lag depending on how fast their internet connection is. A much better way to ensure the smooth running of a presentation is to browse for it and upload it directly into Teams and then share it from there. And then finally, we have the option to share a whiteboard. And this is pretty much what it says on the tin. If you want to collaborate with your Team members maybe do some annotations, write some notes, type some text out, and truly brainstorm ideas. Sometimes it's quite nice to have a whiteboard that everyone can contribute to. And then once the meeting is finished, you can click on the settings icon and export that whiteboard as an image, a PNG file, to share with everybody in the meeting. So those are the options that you have when it comes to sharing. And the final awesome thing you might want to investigate in Microsoft Teams is the meeting notes option. So you'll find this hiding underneath the More Actions drop-down. I'm going to turn on Meeting Notes. And you can see here it says that notes you take are shared with others and are accessible before, during, and after the meeting. So if I'm in an online meeting and I want to make some notes, I can jump into here, click on Take Notes. It's going to jump me back to my channel and create a new tab called Meeting Notes. And I can come in here and start writing whatever notes I need. And of course, everybody in this meeting can collaborate on these notes. Now, when I jump back to my general channel, you'll see that it also posts a link to those notes in that channel where the meeting was started. So if anybody wants to review these notes before, during, or after this meeting, they can click on this link, which will jump them across to the meeting notes. So that is pretty much it. I'm going to end this meeting now for everyone. Those are the top 10 tips that I have for getting started in Microsoft Teams. I hope you found that useful. I will see you in the next video.
If you're not a subscriber, click down below to subscribe so you get notified about similar videos we upload. To get 4 free courses in Excel, QuickBooks, Microsoft Project, and Photoshop, click over there. And click over there to see more videos from Simon Says It.